Hey everyone, we've made it, guys. This is session 50. I thought, what a better way to celebrate than to bring on IPA Sessions' very own graphic artist. This is Sam of Quality Artworks. He is our graphic artist that has put out all these amazing images that you guys have seen over the last season. This took a while to set up because Sam hails all the way from Nigeria, so it was a really fun and interesting way to record over the last year. But we finally got it together, and I'm super excited to end this season with Sam. Thank you all for tuning in, and welcome to IPA Sessions. Welcome to IPA Sessions, a podcast for independent artists. As always, I'm your host, Kay Jacob. On this show, we like to try and provide inspirations for practical application and entertainment. And I've been trying for many months now to upgrade the quality of the show, not just with going to video, but with my audio, and of course, trying to make really good, impressive graphics. And I have on today as my guest our very own IPA Sessions graphic designer. This is Samuel of Quality Arts. He's the man behind everything that you've been seeing of this entire new season since we've gone to video. He's put together all these amazing graphics for us, and I absolutely love his work. So I'm so excited to finally get him here. We've been trying for like a whole year to get this interview. We've had some technical issues, but we're finally getting it all figured out. It's all part of the process, but I'm really, really excited to have Samuel of Quality Arts on today. So all the way from Nigeria is Sam. Say hi.
Hi, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me on air. It's been a crazy ride trying to set it all up.
No, right?
And thank you so much. And I appreciate being on this platform. And this is me saying a thank you for everything you do and for giving me a platform in the first place and even patronizing me. Um, uh, every week. So it's like I'm really appreciative of everything you do, and thank you so much. And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you, man. And you do a great job with the graphics. You've been amazing to work with. I sometimes give you short notice. I'm like, hey, I need this in like
Mhm.
3 days. I try to give you about a week to 2 weeks notice because you are a very busy person. Not only do you do graphic arts, but you're studying in med school. You're trying to become a doctor, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Well, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Who are you, and what all do you do?
All right. Thank you so much once again, Jacob. So my name is Samuel. I'm Samuel Charles, and I'm from Ibadan, Nigeria. I picked up my passion for graphics during the lockdown. That was 2020 during COVID. And this came from the need to. It's always been there because I've always participated in one form of art or the other. When I was younger, much younger, I used to just make drawings, but these were not digital arts. So with COVID, there was a lockdown. So how was I going to
Yeah.
transition into a phase where I get to sell my art and then for people to still have it without having to be there physically? So it means that I needed to recalibrate and reconfigure the way I do the way I approach my art. So it's like I started looking for ways. Then I started watching several videos on how to actually work on digital arts, and then I learned a lot. I learned a lot from a couple channels on YouTube and other places. So I was able to learn how to make digital art, and then from then it's been a very pleasant experience because I've actually collaborated with a lot of individuals on a personal level, and it's not just individuals, even businesses, big brands, and
That's
the
awesome.
whole idea of putting out something that is going to reach a lot of people at once. It's not just it's a different thing when you're creating something for personal consumption, but when you're making something
Right.
with the whole with knowledge of the fact that yes, this thing can actually go very viral, this thing can actually reach anywhere. So it gives you a different approach. You get to approach it in a different manner. So I'm just happy to have collaborated with a lot of people on a personal level, established myself with quality artworks, and it's been a very good journey so far.
As far as the graphics go, you make all the graphics for
Yeah,
IPA for this podcast. You do all of our session episodes. So I have the artists come on, they send us pictures, you render all of that. But you were mentioning, other works. You actually make a ton of, I want to say, the podcast graphic covers for a lot of podcasters out there. I know, like through things on your Instagram and social media, you can see all the different images that you've made for other podcasters. And it's a very unique style.
thank you.
But I just want to point that out that you are our graphic designer, so you make all the session episodes
Yeah,
for us. But for anyone listening that has their own podcast or just looking for a cool logo or brand, reach out to Sam and check out his resume.
thank you,
Sorry, buddy. Keep
thank you
going.
so much for that. And I this is where I get to say yes. Uh, I was still going to come there. So and then I starting with IPA sessions. I think working with IPA sessions is probably my best. It's probably the best experience I've had so far since I started, because it's giving me a difference. Because when you come and you say, "Oh, let's have it this way," and then you send the images, and I'm like, "Okay, how do I go about this? This is something I want to put out there. I want it to come out the best way." And then we have you send in corrections, and you're like, "Let's have this tweet, let's have that tweet," and I'm like, "Okay, yes, this is." I like this. I like the fact that you're pointing this out, and it makes me see it a different way. And
Well, I love, and again, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I love when we're working together. You give me options. You don't just make me one image. You make me usually about three
yeah,
options, and usually I love all three. And I'm like, let's mix this part, and this
yeah,
part, and then I get the perfect image that I
definitely,
like.
definitely.
But I do like that because you have a very good eye, and you also do things. Sometimes it's just you're just doing something experimental. Like I just thought maybe let's try this, and I'm like, ooh, that's really
Yeah,
cool. And other times I'm like, less that, more this, but you are very easy to work with. You take direction
thank
very
you.
well, and you have no problem listening and just helping me sometimes when I'm trying to figure out, like, I think I need it more like this, because I remember we've had a few where it's like I just couldn't seem to. I felt like I wasn't getting the communication clearly across, and you were giving me all this great work, and I was like, I like that, but it's not quite
Yeah,
there yet. But now we got a rhythm, we've established it, we worked on it, and like it just goes in parts where I feel like now you make a logo for me, it's like exactly what I want, because I feel like now of all the options, I'm usually like that one right there. Don't change anything.
yeah.
That's the one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, and thank you. This is I can't say thank you. I can't say enough of thank yous, because I really like working with you. You're super easy to work with. You make it very easy to work with you, and it's not like
Well, thank you.
because yeah, I've worked with clients. I work with clients, and then I know sometimes the clients can just like give okay, they send how they want it, and then probably they don't get what they want, and then just be like, this is not matching what I want, but like this thing, or I get to be rushed during the process, because I like to take my time when I'm creating, because it allows me to create something,
Yeah.
something very good. So but working with you is super easy, because you make it so easy to work with you, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you, man. Excuse me. Let's talk a little bit about your work, if you're okay with
Yes.
that. Oh, and I do apologize. I think I mentioned earlier that you are doing med school on the
Yeah.
side. So not only are you working with me on all this projects, you're working with other content creators. You're studying for medical
Yeah.
school. You've had, I believe, what was it? Summer was very busy for
Yeah.
you.
You know.
But on top of all this, you're doing
Thank
great,
you so
man.
much. Thank you so much. So the thing is, we don't call it summer here in Nigeria, in so because we just have times when it's like we just probably use other terms, because I think summer is an American it's American terminology, summer, winter, and all of that. So it's like,
Makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
so it's more of like this last, how would I put it, we just use probably the first half of the year, second half of the year, and stuff like that. So
Sweet.
it was, I think you were aware when I told you when I was writing my obstetrics and gynecology and pediatrics. And then I had to leave graphics. This is something I didn't tell you, but I had to leave graphics for a while. Not leaving it,
Yeah.
but like just minimizing the. I wasn't accepting new design, new works and stuff like that. But I probably didn't tell you because I didn't want it to affect the whole delivery from your end, because uh you're one of my top clients. Let me put it that way. So it's like I have to like still give you maximum output. So I had to leave graphics for a while. Like I had to, like, just because I needed to read a lot, and I needed to.
Yeah, you don't want to overwhelm
Yeah,
yourself.
definitely, definitely. So it's like I
Yeah.
needed to like know everything. I needed to know everything that I needed to know about pregnant women, and several conditions women have, and kids at the same time. So it's like two in one. It's a medical board exam. So it's like, yeah, I knew what I had to do, and I knew I had to just leave graphics for a while. But
Well, it's a big deal, and I'm glad that you were able to put that first. And it's funny getting a peek behind the curtain. I didn't even realize because I knew what you were doing. You told me, so I think it kind of worked out because there was a bit of a time off that I had here on
yeah,
the podcast myself because I had to take a little downtime for other things
yeah,
as well. So I think maybe it just all timed out for us
yeah,
perfectly.
yes,
But I do know I would reach out to you, and you would still get the artwork to me. So I didn't even notice that you were actually
yeah,
taking the time off,
definitely.
but I do appreciate that, and I'm glad that the board worked out for you. I'm glad that the exams turned out really good. Um, but let's get back into the graphics now, and I'm sorry for
Yes,
leapfrogging here. But I want to talk about the graphics. You have a very unique look. You have a very unique creation that you do. I love the way you render images of people because I like to showcase the artists and their artwork. So I usually send you a picture of the actual person, and then like if they're a musician, if they have albums out, we send like cover pictures, or if they have logos made, or if they have a film, we do posters. Sometimes if they have artworks that they've created, they'll send me images of that. I'll give it to you, and you'll find a way to take them and their artwork, blend it together. And the way that they pop to me, it's really cool because it has this almost airbrush look to
yeah,
it with a cartoon kind of comic
yeah.
book style. And I always want to know, is this like a cool rendering that you do, or do you actually draw these
Yeah,
people?
thank you for this question, because in the recently, with the whole surge in AI, the whole noise about AI, and the whole AI movement, and let me say movements, in quotes now. So
Sure.
recently it's like everybody now knows about AI, and sometimes I get questions like, "Oh, is it AI you use or something?" But I think people that can actually differentiate, still they're still able to tell that, yeah, this is not AI. So because I've been working on this thing as far back as 2020. Yes, AI has always been in AI has always been.
Yeah, but it's
It's
just
just,
now getting
yes,
somewhat
yes,
good.
with open
Yeah.
AI, I think there's more reception, more public awareness. Let me put it that way now. So everybody knows about.
Yeah. There's access to
Yes,
it for
exactly.
sure.
So it's
Yeah.
like uh, I draw everything I put out. I draw it. I have to undraw it, and there are layers to it. And when it's like, let me describe how it actually goes so that you would understand the whole thing. So there's when.
Yeah. Take me through the steps.
All right, that's cool. So the first step is, yes, the images. That's you, the person that wants to actually commission, sends me the image, and then, yeah, this is what then I want to create. This is how I want it to come out. So that's how you send it, and then now after getting the base images that are going to serve as like my how would I put it, the base that is going to give me like, oh, this is how I'll draw this is how I'll draw this. It's like working on something, so working on tracing out things to know how it will come out. And then after getting that, then I go to the ideation phase. The ideation phase is, yes, you've given me your input as a client. You've told me how you actually want it to come out, and then I've internalized it. I've processed everything. Now how do I actually approach it? How do I put everything together for it to come out good? Now that is where I do my own sketch. So my own sketch is basically I have something I call a sketchbook. So I have my paper sketch and then the digital sketch. A paper sketch is just me using my pencil or my pen to make a sketch. So I make a sketch of how it's going to come out before it actually comes out, and then it gives me like a, how do I put it, a roadmap to how.
Yeah, a layout, a guide in a way,
Yes, a guide.
a layout. I think.
Yes, a
Yeah.
layout. Yes. So when I get this layout, I know exactly what I'm going to do on the computer. So it gives me like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. So then I move to the digital sketch. The digital sketch is similar, somewhat similar to the hand drawn one, but it's more detailed than the one I drew on paper, because the one I drew on paper is just a quick, something so quick that I just want to like just get the ideas on paper. So the digital one gives me like a rough idea. It's still a rough sketch of how it will come out. Then after doing that, then I go to the next phase. The next phase would be when I'll make the actual sketch. I said sketch, the actual design. So that's the next phase. So the actual design, uh that's when I would actually use the application. So I use the sketchbook or Adobe Illustrator. So there are two, those are the two apps I use. So uh i i I have the
And
base.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. These two apps that you use, is that something you would recommend to other artists out there that want to find a way to bring their paperwork to the digital
Yeah,
platform so that
sure,
they can still
sure,
make it their work? It's
sure.
not AI. It's actually like an app that helps you render it,
Yeah, yeah,
and you get to draw and use it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But this is it. There are different apps you can actually use. There's also Procreate. I don't know if you know Procreate.
I've heard of it. I think another artist I talked to, maybe a graphic designer, mentioned it.
Yeah.
I want to say
So that's also
one of
something.
my earlier graphic artists.
Yeah, that's also something to use, but it depends on the style you're aiming for. Procreate gives this animation, how would I put it, it gives this animated uh uh I'm trying to find the right word to use. So it gives this uh,
Take your time.
uh
I'll edit.
yeah, I'm trying to, because uh as an artist you have to figure out what works for you best. You have to figure out the
Right.
best thing that works for you. You're not going to just go there and use what everyone is using, because number one, you want to stand out. You want your style to actually stand out,
Yeah.
and that's one thing.
Right? It's your style, your
Yes,
signature.
exactly. So it's my art. It's not. It's not. It's my art. So it's how I choose for it to come out, and I think it's usually important for to stand out. Standing out makes you. It brings you out, basically, because when you stand out, people are able to give an identity to you. You're not just mixed with the crowd. They're not just putting you with the crowd and just saying artist. They're saying they can pick you out and say you, because you have a style. You have Your style is unique. So and that's so there are other apps. There are a lot of apps that artists can actually use. But I think I just prefer to use these two apps, because it brings out my style, and they are more easy to work with for me. I can't say for anyone else, because what's easy to use for me may be hard for someone else, and what someone else finds easy may be hard for me to use. So I just use these two. So let me get back to the old description.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
No, no,
didn't
no.
mean
Yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. I thank you for actually asking me. So I was able to like talk about that. So after
Yeah, of
the
course.
whole digital sketch, so I want to get into the actual thing, which is like making the actual drawings. So this is when I get the base image, like the base image, the images that were sent to me when I was like when I was talking to the person who is going to commission the art. So this is where I use the base image because I want the art to come out in the likeness of who I'm sketching out, who I'm the drawing. Because when I was starting up, like when I was just starting, I have had times when probably the I made the nose a bit bigger, and then that meant I altered the structure of the person. You know, the person may find it insulting.
Yeah, kind of like a caricature in a way.
Yes, but
I think that's what
yeah,
they
yeah.
call it. Yeah.
Now this is not even it's different from caricature. What I'm trying to say is the fact that yes, I have to recognize the fact that I'm actually drawing features like facial features of people, and people may not like probably adding to their features or removing from it. They may not like it. For example, if
Yeah.
naturally I believe my nose is so much very it's pointed. It's like very pointed, and then this artist goes on, yeah. So and this artist goes on
I
to
got one.
make my nose so big. You know, I may not like it. So because he's now altering uh my facial feature. He's now making me.
Yeah, it's not really you, it's an
Yes,
exaggeration.
exactly. So it's like I have to be conscious of that because I don't want the people I'm actually making art for to not like the outcome, to not to have a certain feeling that probably I am uh, reconstructing how they look. So yeah, so I'm very conscious of that. So and I have to like take my time to actually draw out each feature. So uh, when I have the base image, I create layers. Layers let me explain. Layers are like the different the different uh, boards to work on. When I
Yeah.
remove a layer or I delete a layer, it means that what I've worked on that layer is automatically deleted. Do you get? So now, after doing the whole sketching and
It's like
yeah,
editing.
exactly. So it's like I have to be very conscious of every single thing, and I have to take my time to, and that's why it's not just something that I can say, oh yes, it's going to take a very very short time. I'm going to be done in 2 hours. No, it's something I have to take my time, and that's why sometimes it's like it's the time I spend on the different. It's just way more than I even planned because it's like I recognize the fact that yes, this thing has to come out very good. It has to come out good. Like I can't just put out anything that I'm not happy with because it's the
Yeah.
direct representation of me. Because they're going to ask who did this, and if it's not good, it's definitely not going to be something I want to associate myself with. So so after the whole drawing process,
Hmm.
then I do the painting and everything. Then I go on to like review and check, and this is where after when I'm done, I do a form of like opinion, trying to get other people's opinions of it, because yeah, I may feel I've just created a very good solid work, but uh, it still depends on how people see it. It may not be obvious to me. So I this is where I actually show someone, probably it could be my friend, my brother, or anybody that is just, and I'm just like, check this out. Do you like it? And then they go like, oh, you can just adjust this. They give me a form of like, oh, just adjust this. I think it's better if it comes out this way. Then I say, okay, okay, okay. Then I try to like find a way to make, because in the end, I want to put out something that is like very, very good. I don't want to put out something I'm not proud of. So
Right? I mean, that's what every artist
Yeah,
strives for. And again, it's your name on it. It's
yeah,
your signature, it's your look. And that's why I liked your work because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh man, like these are really cool. They look good." And I was like, "He's done a ton of this work." And you look at your what I say your resume of all your images that you share from all the works that you've done for other podcasters as well. There is a point where you're like, "Wow, this is really cool. Maybe this is AI." And I didn't never think that it was AI, but I thought maybe you had this cool way of rendering certain images but throughout working with you and talking to you, you showed me some sketches of like, no, I sketched this out.
wow.
It's like that's really cool. It adds a nice look to it, but that's how good it is. It's so good people think it's
Yeah,
fake because it just looks that good. It's like there's no
there's no
way a
way.
human
Yeah,
did this, and it's like yeah, he does. And I really like the style that you have, and I think it's cool how you take the time to do these attention to details when it comes to creating the artists and like drawing their faces. You got to know your anatomy. So I think
definitely.
it goes hand in hand with medical school.
Yeah,
Like your anatomy,
definitely.
and that really helps. Like your artistic side helps your medical side. I think that's a unique combo. Maybe it's
I
a
think
superpower that you
let me
have
put
that
it this way.
a little strength to your
You
side.
said you said my artistic side helps my medical side. It's actually the other way. It's my medical
The
side.
other way, yeah.
My
Sorry.
medical side helps my artistic side. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's perfect.
you're like I know what a curved nose
Yeah,
is. The anatomy, man, and it's funny because a lot of artists, especially artists that do profile and tattoo artists that like to do
yeah,
portraits, knowing the anatomy, knowing the human
yeah,
anatomy is extremely helpful to an artist. And it's really fun to
yeah,
study anatomy, just how the body works, because a simple turn of the
yeah.
head it
It changes
changes
everything.
everything.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I think that's really cool, the attention you put
yeah.
into that. But, moving this along now, I wanna ask you, you've been doing this for a while, and of course, you're going to medical school. That's what's really gonna pay off your living expenses. But do you feel like as a graphic artist, this has become a little bit more than a hobby now? Do you feel like you're starting to get a little financial income out of this? I know you do commissions and stuff like that, but do you feel like this is something that you can continue to do or maybe even make it your own business? Or do you feel once you become a doctor, it may have to go to the wayside? Like, I just want to get your thoughts on these.
Okay, okay.
How do you feel
This is
about it
this is
financially?
this is very interesting because this is something I've actually contemplated a couple times. So it's like yes, I'm going to become a doctor in a few months now, a few months from now. So it's like, yeah, I recognize the fact that when I'm done with med school, there's what we call house job. I don't know if you know of that. There are levels to.
I'm not
Oh, okay,
entirely
so
sure.
there's after the normal med school, there's still house job, and then there's residency. Residency is for
Residency,
when
I'm
I
aware of.
want
Yeah.
to specialize or something. So it's like, but pending the time you're a resident doctor, you can actually be a medical officer. You're actually a medical officer basically. So it's like a medical officer. You're not specializing yet. You're just free. How do I put it? I don't want to use free balling. I don't want to use the term free balling, but it's like you're just hanging there because I think the world is moving more towards specialization and your MBBS. That is the degree MBBS. MBBS is not just enough. You have to specialize. You have to become probably an emergency physician or a cardiologist or a neurosurgeon or any other thing. So because that's where the world is going because it's people want to be treated by someone who is a specialist in what they're doing. So
Yeah, they're like focused
yeah,
on that specifically.
exactly. So and
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, as to whether I would stop graphics for medicine. So it's a very dicey one. It's a dicey one because yes, I at this point I make some money from graphics. I don't make too much. I just make something that is okay just for personal sustenance and
Right.
then
Yeah. It's nice to have it in your pocket, especially while you're in
yeah,
school. It's a little extra spending
exactly.
money.
So it's
Yeah.
like I recognize the fact that it can become a much bigger brand in future. That's something that can happen. And I also recognize the fact that yes, as a doctor, it's a no-brainer to actually go for being a doctor than just
Trying to be an
ju-
artist, the financial stability is definitely with the doctor route.
yes, exactly. But there is still artists that are way richer than doctors. That's
Right.
when their brand is like big, like when the brand is big. Because yes, at my current level, of course, being the doctor is actually a no-brainer. But if by chance, I don't know what the future holds, but if by chance I get to become way bigger than this, if I get to like be a someone that is actually,
Yeah, like, if you could actually make this a full-time, living, sustainable
yeah,
career, that's
yeah,
fascinating. And I think it's cool too with you becoming a doctor, getting your doctorate and all that, and moving up in that side of the world while still doing this on the side. It seems like it's something that you could handle. I mean, like you said, there are gonna be times where you may have to take a month or 2 off because you've gotta focus on the medical
yeah,
side, but I think once you've gotten your what's the thing, like a
yeah.
routine, and you still love doing it and it doesn't
So
tire you out and you can be like, oh
yeah,
hey, you need something done, I can do this, let me wrap up this heart surgery and then I'll knock out a graphic design for you.
yeah, definitely. But because
That's
as
cool.
a as in this field, let me put it like this: in this field, you have to read every day because there is like a million things to know because the human body is the most complex and I mean it in all with all seriousness because there's just a lot to know. There's a lot to know about a lot of things, and then you just have to keep reading. You're not going to know
Right.
everything, but when you read, you know more than you knew the previous day. So it's like you're just learning more and reading. So it means I have to read every day. I do that every day. So of course I
Yeah.
have to be a doctor that is actually uh uh very conversant with the different medical conditions and prioritizes his patient's care. So I'm not just going to be a doctor that is going to harm patients because you can either be a doctor that is harming patients or a doctor that knows his stuff and is treating patients well. So I choose to be the latter, not the former. So
Right. Well, and that's what everyone wants, especially your
yeah,
patients.
exactly. So it's like yes, I have to read every day, but the little time I get to like just play around and stuff. That's when I actually do my graphics, and it's like I can actually put in these 4 hours. I have 24 hours. I of course I would sleep. I have my 8 hours sleep standard. 8 hours sleep in the night. But that means I have like 12 hours left. So of 12 hours, I am at the clinic. I'm at the clinic for about 5 hours, not 5 hours actually, more than 5 hours because the schedules are actually different. Because so let's just say roughly I'm at the clinic for roughly 9 hours. 9 hours I'm at the clinic. Then the remaining 3 hours, I know I'm either just going to use 2 hours to actually work on graphics or do something else. So it's like yes, my day is kind of already structured. It's already, how would I put it? There's like a pattern to which my day follows.
Yeah, you have to designate your time to specific things in your day.
Definitely,
And it's schedule. I mean, that's the life that you're getting into as
definitely.
well. But look, I really do appreciate you taking the time to tell us all about the work, your style, how you do it. Again, he's not an AI. He does this himself. He's just really good at it. And on top of that, you know, you're studying, following the doctor's route
Yeah,
too. So I hope that you found a great way to balance it because you are a very talented graphic designer, but obviously you're going to be a gifted doctor as well. So I hope you find a way to be able to balance both those things because they both seem to genuinely make you
yeah,
happy. And you know, I appreciate working with you, but I always say, you know, as an artist, it's what's best for you. It's what you need to do. So I encourage you to just do what's best for Sam.
definitely.
So one of my first questions I'd like to ask you is, what has been the biggest challenge as a graphic designer that you've had to overcome? And it could be something that you're still working on.
One of the biggest challenges I've had to overcome would probably be when I was starting. When I was just starting. That was when I was trying to like get uh, the first get like set the ball rolling. So I think in everyone's career, it's more of like the the initial phase is like you don't have anybody patronizing you. You it's like you're in a stagnant state, and then because you don't have anything to show, you don't have much. Your portfolio is not as good. So it's like yes, you know it's going to be hard for you to land the job, and because you don't have much to talk about in your portfolio. So I think that was going to be my biggest challenge because the early phase I didn't have like I didn't have works to like do because uh like I didn't have much designs in my portfolio. So I had to just even start working for free because I had to get those first few designs that are going to showcase, like that are going to be like what people see, to be able to like say, you okay, I want you to work on this for me. Because it was a very big challenge for me because uh, I was trying to get. It was just really tough at that time. I had to just even start saying, "Yo, just design things for people for free. It's going to take me a lot of time, a lot of efforts, but I was still willing to do it for free just to get that first set of works in my portfolio." So I think that was like the biggest challenge for me as a graphic designer. I think.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, getting started and letting people know like, "Hey, okay, I'm an artist. This is what I enjoy doing. Let me do this for you." And to be like, pay me a little bit and I can commission me to do some work
Yeah,
for you. And it's like, "Well, what's your work?" And you're like, "Well, I don't really have a resume. You'll be part of that resume." So it is a tough thing to try and figure out how to get that
yeah,
going. But what's cool about it is, I know from my experience with you is obviously when I met you, you already had the resume, you had all those pictures to show me. You were really great about talking about like, hey, what would you like to do? We had a whole little meeting
yeah,
online through email exchange. Like, I'm looking for this, and that. And you're like, well, I can offer this, and that. Meet you halfway. And what was great is I remember when you did the first design for me, you were like, I'm going to do these 3 different designs for you, but you're not going to pay anything until the design is perfect. So I like that with us. And I don't know how you work with other artists or, excuse me, other content creators. You were like, let me make the design for you. If you like this design, then pay for it. And I thought that was a really cool deal. So I was like, okay, great. And that made me feel, because I was like, I had the intent to want to pay for it. It made me feel like I could communicate to you, okay, I like this. I don't care for that. Can you switch this around? And realizing that, oh, we have a good system. We can work
yeah.
together and communicate and get the design. And that's worth paying for. It's worth commissioning you and supporting you as an artist. And I want to be able to do that. So I can see how a big challenge for you as a graphic designer is telling people like, hey, hire me.
Definitely, definitely,
uh,
definitely.
there are things that come along when you're doing this, and you get familiar with it. You know what to kind of anticipate as an artist. But has there been something unexpected that you had to face? And it could have been something that you learned in the moment. But was there ever anything unexpected that you came across as an artist that you just were not anticipating it to be a deal
Okay.
or to be a problem?
Okay. I think that was that. I would say the early part of when I started was it came with a lot of like bad how would I put it, bad experiences and stuff because yeah, I think I can actually remember one when it's like yes, I actually the person commissioned something, the person commissioned the design and it's like yeah, work on this. It was actually a whole lot, like it wasn't not just one design, it was like three at once. And then I needed to so and because I create three designs for each work to give the options. So it means that I was going to submit nine different uh nine different designs. So I actually worked on it, and because I was still very new in it, I was actually willing to go the route of oh yeah, you can pay me after. And then when I was done with it, the person just ghosted me, and it's like wow, what just happened? Because it was there was a lot of time and effort that I put into that those particular ones, because I wanted them to come out perfect. I wanted them to like, I wanted to tick all the boxes. I just wanted something so good that it just be typically very hard to refuse. So it's like, yes, I was going to put in my all in it. I was going to put in extra time trying to like create something that's going to like really hit the nail on the head. So it's like, yeah, I did all that. I didn't sleep. I just to ensure it was going to come out good. But and then after when I was done, the person ghosted me. I was like, wow, what just happened? Because it was very new to me. And
And did they take your work as well?
the person just didn't reply anymore, and it's like it was just like they
Uh,
ghosted and didn't like. So it was like wasted effort, because all the time, all the efforts, all these sacrifices I had to make for it to come out that good. So it's like everything was just like all to waste. So it's one of the experiences where I was like, oh, this is really not, this is really not cool. So it made me now have a different structure of working. So it's like the different structure would be that, yes, you're going to pay uh a certain amount upfront, and then I'm going to create it, and then when I'm done, when I show you what I've designed, you're going to pay rest, because it gives like a commitment from both sides. It gives a commitment from both sides. Yeah. Uh,
yep.
so the person was just not going to zone off, because the fact that you recognize the fact that yes, they've put an amount into this thing, and they'll just be waiting for it to come out. So it made me just restructure how I do business. So that experience actually shaped shaped me in the way I actually do business after that. So it made me just realize the fact that yes, I really like to design these things. As an artist, it's always the art first as an artist, but I wouldn't like a situation where it's like yes, you're just taking advantage of me. So because it's basically you taking advantage of me, because I really love to design these things, but the it's only right for me to also get a positive response from you, because yes, I do enjoy doing this thing. But at least let me know I'm being rewarded fairly.
Right. I would say to work with someone on a commission and then not get commissioned, it's definitely something you don't expect where you're
Yeah,
like, what was the point of all this? Why did I do all
definitely,
this if you're not
definitely.
gonna it's a commission.
Yeah.
It's a tricky line that you ride too, because you know you're dealing with people where it's like you have to put a little trust there. Even with us in our work relationship that we have, you're really great about sending me low rendering watermarked images of like, hey, here's some options. What do you think? And I like how you protect your work. Even though we have trust, we've worked together, we have trust, we have understanding. It's still smart on you as a business person. It keeps me in the mindset, okay, Sam is a professional. This is how he runs things. He's sending me the low rendered quality watermarked for his safety. And it allows me to go, okay, I like some of this. And I don't feel as bad being like, can we move this around? Can we switch that up? And then you show me the finalized version. I'm like, that's the one. Here's your commission. And you send me this beautiful, perfectly
Yeah,
imaged email with the picture attached to it. And it's sized great. It fits all my media. Like, it's really well done. It's smart business structure, and it's because you learn from that unexpected moment of doing commission work and
thank you.
not getting the
So
commission. It's
thank you.
it's neat to
So
see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, but it's a learning experience.
It's a learning, yeah, and it's a learning experience, and I'm happy it actually happened, because it shaped how I do things, as how I started to do things following that experience. So yeah, I think the only thing is, yeah, I send the previews, but when I've built a certain type of relationship with someone, I feel like yes, this person is someone I actually do trust, which is something I have with you. I actually feel like yes, this is someone I do trust, and it's never going to do that kind of thing. And then I feel like yes, I can always send you without even putting the watermark. I can always send you
Well, yeah,
the direct
sometimes, yeah.
message.
When I asked for a rush
Yeah.
before, you've been
So it's
kind,
like
but we've established, months of working together.
months of
So,
it's close to a year now.
yeah,
It's like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is someone that I really value, and because I do value you, and it's like I recognize the fact that this person has always done right by me. It's not
right.
so he has always done right by me. So it's like he's a very solid person. He's never going to do anything. So it's like I know, yes, this is someone. Yes.
I recently realized too how much I value your work is because I recently I had a recording I did everything in the same day. I had a recording, I had to edit, and I had to release it. And I had to do my own graphics because I was like, I can't get this to Sam in time because he's going to need at least a week. And I was like, and we were doing something special to help someone with the Kickstarter. So I had to put the graphics together. And I'm like, oh man, I need Sam for this.
You could
But,
have
I did
actually
my
sent
best.
if you had sent it. I can actually make it. It's not like I need a week. It's just that
Oh, this would have been less than 24 hours. Like, I would have had to send it to you, be like, "I need this in 3 hours,"
I would have
like,
still done
eh,
something. That's
I'll keep that in mind for the next rush if I have another rush, and
definitely
I'll even offer you a little
definitely
extra for that. That's a good time for
yeah.
me to be like, "I'll pay you extra."
So it's like, yeah,
Um,
if all goes fine, I can actually deliver in a day, 2 days, even 3 hours. It just like I just know that
yeah,
okay, yes, I have to like do a lot, and because it's something I've
yeah,
done for years. So it's like the level I can function is different from what a beginner can from the level a beginner can function. So it's like if you tell me you need this thing in a day, 2 days, I definitely can deliver it in a day, 2 days. If you need it in less than a day, I definitely can still deliver. It just means that I have to like start the whole iPad and stuff. Like I have to know, okay, yes, I'm going to leave every other thing I'm doing to actually focus on this thing I'm doing. So
that's
that's
good.
just it.
Well, now I know. Now I know. After I had to do this art, but I did my best, and I did my own graphics before I met you. But I was constantly learning and evolving. But I
Okay.
think what was cool about having to do this on my own is I remember like the style that you do, and I was like, I'll try and do what me and him have worked on. But I realized in the end, it's like, man, I really do rely on you for the graphics, and it's mainly because I love the way that it it allows the podcast to have its own style. You've given my show a style. It has a representation. It has a unique look to it. Every episode has its own look, and I like that. Where it's like, oh, this is IPA, and it gives something special for the listeners out there, and the artists like it. A lot of artists have given me great feedback. They're like, dude, that design is so cool, and it's like, yeah, that's Sam. That's over there at Quality Arts. I send them your links and stuff.
Thank you.
So like, it's something that I've really grown to
Thank
cherish, and I
you.
appreciate the work that you've put
Thank
in.
you so much.
But moving along here, moving along here, there are things in life that they're a fact. It's not an opinion. It is
But
what it
yeah,
is. It's a reality. There's nothing you can do to change it. And I want to know what has been a hard reality for you as an artist to basically accept. There's nothing you can change. You just have to work and deal with it. What's a hard reality for you?
the hard reality will be that not everyone is going to uh your work. No matter I've learned that art is very subjective. It is very, very
Oh yeah,
subjective. It's not everyone that is going to like this thing you're putting out. I've come to terms with that. I've accepted it in my own way that yes, I'm creating this thing, but it doesn't mean this person is going to like it. The fact that yes, I do like this, and I think the person next to me or someone like around me that I'm going to show the work likes it, doesn't mean this person is going to like it. So and that's really how it is in this industry, if I'm to use that term. So it's like that's
right.
how it is in this industry. It's like you don't you art is very subjective. It is very it's the viewer or the recipient or the person that is actually experiencing it has their own like their own feeling, and they're right. They are entitled to how they feel about it. It's not for you to think, oh, you didn't do something nice. So you could have actually done something very excellent, very good, but this person doesn't feel like yes, you did something good, and that's up to them. So I've actually accepted that, and that's a reality I've come to like accept that yes, this thing I'm putting out is may not be received the way I expect it to be received, and I should be fine with that. I should be fine with that.
I like that you're accepting the reality of like they may or may not like it, and that's
Yeah,
okay. Because the truth is, reality is, the fact is, art is
yeah,
subjective, and everyone sees everything differently.
definitely.
Everyone is an individual with unique
Yes,
tastes. So, and as an artist, it's very hard for you when you're working with people. That's why I like the way that you've engaged with me, where you took the time to actually try to get to know me a little bit. You listened to a couple of my episodes, and you're like, okay, I see the style
style.
of
Yes,
what you're doing with your show on an audio format. So conceptually, as an artist, I can give you some of these designs and these layouts to help
yeah,
capture what you're trying to have them listen
yeah,
to. And I thought that was neat. Basically, you're giving me the visual to the audio. Now we do video, but it's still you're still great about trying to find a way to capture that for the audience, and I love that. So yeah, art is subjective
thank
indeed.
you.
What is the most valuable takeaway that you've learned from this experience? Something that has helped you grow and improve as an artist?
Something that's helped me grow as an artist, it has to be the fact that as an artist, you have to keep learning. So, what do I mean by learning? It means you have to recognize the fact that art is endless. This is how I view art. Uh, there is no end to art. Art is going to be, and this is something that I would say is just like science. Science doesn't have an end, but it has a structure. So it doesn't have an end, just like art, but it has a structure. Art, on the other hand, doesn't have an end and can take any form or structure. Science is science. Water is always going to be H2O. There's going to always be gravity in Earth as compared to other planets. So that's just science. That's just how it is. So it means there's a structure. But art, on the other hand, doesn't can take different forms, different structure. What some people consider as art may just be I don't know if you've seen it could just be a mark on probably a canvas, and that's art to them, and then they're ready to pay $50,000. They're ready to pay any amount for that. Uh, so it means that that's just what they see as art. So it means art can actually take any form as opposed to science. And it's also endless, but it's the similarity between them is like they're endless. There's always going to be more and more. So it means that you have to recognize that, and as an artist, you have to like be ready to learn more, to get better in my craft. I have to recognize the fact that art is endless, and then I have to keep trying to get better, keep trying trying to explore other forms of art and how I can actually bring out my art in the best way, and how to just create art that is pleasing. Because in the end, it's more about the person that is actually viewing the art and not myself. Because yes, I can create art for personal consumption, but in the end, I create art mainly for the consumption of others. So it's like yes, I have to recognize the fact that I have to design something that is going to match the taste, and that's something I'm very aware of, and I have to like keep doing and just keep trying to get better and keep learning as an artist. So I think that's the major thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to grow is learning kind of in a way your faults and how you take that and improve upon it and basically adjust your mindset to the consumer's mindset or the person that you're working for. That's a great way to improve as an artist, and it allows you to become more creative too because you're like, all right, really got to think outside the box here. Got to think outside of myself.
Definitely.
I think that's really neat, man. Moving this along, I just want to ask you, what's your drive? What motivates you to do this?
Okay, my drive is going to be probably the fact that I create art that people love. I think that's my biggest drive. The fact that I create art that people love. Like when you give me those reviews that yes, this looks nice, it's like more pump. There's like if a surge of hormones, a surge of like yes, you're doing something nice. So it's like, yes, I think that's probably my drive. The fact that I get to put smile on faces, the part that I get to, the fact that the part where I get to like create something that is going to reach a very wide audience. It's like, yes, I'm aware of the fact that yes, this thing is not just going to be seen by just 5 people. It's going to be seen by potential millions of people, and so it's like, wow, so creating something that is going to actually get to millions of people is it's something that yes, I can say yes, this is my drive. This is the fact that I'm also creating something that someone people like. That's also something I consider as my drive. So yeah, that would be my drive. The fact that yes, two things: the fact that I'm creating something that people like, and the fact that I recognize the fact that I'm creating things that are going to get to a very wide audience.
I like that. That's a great drive to have, knowing that you're making something for others to enjoy and that they actually enjoy it.
Definitely.
You're getting a little return on
Yeah,
that. So it motivates you, it keeps you going because you're like, okay, you like this? Cool, I can keep doing
that
this.
alone is actually way more than the monetary aspect, like the money aspect of it, because that you like it is much more to me than the money itself, because that you like it is like yes, I created something really nice and gives me like joy, and yes, I want to do more, and I want to like create more. Yeah, that's it.
Well, Sam, I really appreciate you coming on today and taking us through your world of graphic design, a little peek behind your life as med school, and of course, answering a lot of these questions. So, right now, I just want to ask you, man, as we wrap this all up, is there any advice or anything you'd like to say to anyone out there looking to do graphic design or just an artist in general? Do you have any advice for them?
Yes, as an artist, it's very important to recognize the fact that you are unique, and that's the first thing. If you recognize the fact that you're unique as an artist, your approach to art is going to be different from everyone else, because art, in the real sense of it, should be unique. There's art enough. There is It's your mind, your creativity that is actually coming out, not some structured or boxed up ideas and all of that. You have to recognize the fact that you're unique as an artist, and then let your creativity just go explore just go off the roof, because there's really you should not box yourself, you should not box your art, you should not let others like talk down on your art, and you should always strive to get better. And this is me saying it as someone who recognizes the fact that even at my level, I have to still try to get better, because there's really no end to learning. There's no end to learning. I have to keep learning. I have to keep getting better, because it's just how it goes. And so this is for people who want to get into arts. Chase it. It's a very good field. It's because apart from the fact that yes, it's something that would give you uh, more freedom to actually express yourself, you're also probably going to get paid on the side, and that's even I see that as something that is just going to be on the side, because it should be your drive for expressing yourself, for putting out something very creative, not be overwhelmed by should not be underplayed. Don't put the monetary aspects over your your need to be to express yourself, to be free, and to create something very good. Because when you start doing that, it's more about the money and less about the art. So that's the advice I'm going to give young artists. So it means please recognize the fact that in the early stages, it may not be as easy and as smooth as you expect it to be, but it's definitely worth chasing. And when you create a brand that is unique, uh, you're definitely going to be happy you did. Uh, because it's going to pay you forever. You're going to be happy you did.
That's excellent advice. I couldn't have said it better myself. And again, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate talking to you. I enjoy working with you for as long as you're going to keep doing this, and as long as this podcast goes, I'm going to keep working with
Thank you
you.
so much.
And I'm excited to see the graphics that you're going to release for this
Definitely.
episode because you get to do your own graphic now.
Definitely, definitely,
You get to put a picture of you out there.
definitely,
So don't mess it up. No pressure.
definitely. So,
But
Yeah,
Go
please. I
ahead.
want to say something. So, this
Yeah.
is. I want to uh, mention that I am really, really appreciative of the fact that you're giving a platform to artists like myself. So, thank you so much. This is me giving you your flowers. This is me giving you your flowers. Thank you so much. Uh, thank you
I
so
appreciate it.
much
Thank
for
you.
giving artists like myself platform, for putting us out there, for letting us tell our stories. Thank you so much, and thank you for just always giving me work, because it's something I'm really appreciative of. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to work with you. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, of course. And hey, you know, you work with a lot of other creative artists out there. So if you meet any other cool people that you're like, hey, you should go to IPA and promote your stuff,
Definitely,
send them my way and I'll put them out there as
definitely,
well.
definitely.
But speaking of promoting, where can people find you? How can they follow you, check out your work, and support you? Promote yourself, put yourself
All
out
right,
there.
all right. So recently, I used to have my page Quality Artworks. That's probably where I would have directed people. But recently, I'm trying to recover my page. Instagram probably flagged by mistake, flagged my page, and I don't know why they did that. But I'm trying to. I'm still talking to the support
Huh.
team. I'm still trying to recover the page. But pending that, I'm trying to put out my new page, uh, which I would be, which I would probably send to you. I'm still working on everything, so I may not be able
Okay.
to put out the page
Yeah, I forgot
at
about that.
the
I
moment.
will put links in the show notes for
All right,
everyone. So once we have your new page up and running, we'll definitely put links in the show notes as well so they can go
all
find
right,
you. I forgot you were dealing with that for your what great timing when we do this recording to promote yourself and have your page all
all
messed
right,
up.
all right. That's. I mean, that's really really unfair. So I'm still. I don't know why, but I'm still trying to talk to the support team, and they've been very helpful, and we've been sending emails back and forth, and I'm trying to recover it, and I believe it's going to get sorted very, 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 very soon.
Anywhere else people can find you? Any other cool things that you have up on social media that they can find and say hi and follow and all
Yeah,
that,
definitely.
or reach out to
Okay,
you?
my Facebook is actually Samuel Charles, and that's also somewhere people can reach me. My Twitter is Samuel. I think Quality of Books. Yeah, I would send my Twitter link, because my Twitter is very much active, and it's very very active.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you had a TikTok. I got to follow you on TikTok now. Or I'll start tagging you in the
All right,
post from
no problem.
IPA. I forgot
All
about
right,
that.
no problem.
That's awesome, man. And again, I really do appreciate you coming on. It's really cool to talk to you. I'm glad that we finally got this recording. It took forever, but I learned a lot as a podcaster and trying to do a long distance recording from the States all the way to Nigeria. I figured out all the kinks we had to work out. We made it happen finally. So I just appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this, man. And it's just really great getting to talk to you. And to all the listeners out there, just know, like Sam's been saying himself, like you can pursue that career that you need, but you can still continue to make the art that you like as
Definitely,
well. There's a fine balance. You'll figure it
definitely,
out, and know your worth. You're going to learn from these moments. You're going to learn from these mistakes. And as a graphic designer trying to get those commissions, you're going to have to build that portfolio up. You're going to have to really present something out there that's worth being invested
definitely.
in, and do that. Take that leap and do
Thank
it.
you. So much.
Thank you, Sam. I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. I really
Uh,
appreciate this too. Thank you so much.
yeah. And I forgot to mention too, you speak a lot of different languages too. You're not just bilingual, you're like trilingual, right? You speak English and then two other languages, right?
Yes, I speak Yoruba.
Yoruban?
Yes, I think
Is it just English and
no
Yoruban?
English.
Is that
No,
it?
no,
Is it
no,
just
no,
two
no.
languages?
English, Yoruba, and Pidgin. Pidgin. I would say Pidgin is one too.
Nice, pigeon it. Okay. Um, could you end my show for me? I usually like to tell people stay golden. Would you be able to translate that for me? Can you, or the equivalent of until the next time, stay golden?
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Títí ìgbà míì tá máa pàdé. Wà dáadáa.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, Please rate and review, like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And as always, the theme music of the show is provided by the Ericka page. And our brand new graphic designs are all thanks to Quality Artworks. Links are in the show notes. Go support these amazing indie artists just like they support IPA Sessions. And of course, please follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That's at IPA Sessions Podcast. And if you or someone you know is an independent artist looking to promote their work or just share their story with us, please hit me up at ipasessionspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, everyone. And I hope you're able to find some inspirations for practical applications and entertainment.